of November 3rd, 2022. Majority Leader Keith Powers, I'd like to thank you for joining us here today. If you would like to follow along, the agenda for today's meeting is posted on the City Council website.
Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Roll call.
Abreu.
Present.
Ariola. Aviles.
Presente.
Ayala.
Here.
Barron.
Here.
Botcher.
Here.
Brannan.
Here.
Brewer.
Here.
Brooks Powers.
Here.
Caban.
Present.
Carr. Della Rosa.
Here.
Dinowitz.
Present.
Farias.
Present.
Felice.
Present.
Gennaro. Gutierrez.
Presente.
Hanif.
Here.
Hanks.
Present.
Holden. Gennaro. Hudson.
Present.
Joseph.
Present.
Kagan.
Present.
Krishnan.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Lewis.
Present.
Marte.
Present.
Mealy. Menon. Excuse me. Moya.
Present.
Narcisse.
Present.
Nurse. Osei.
Present.
Palladino. Wrestler.
Here.
Richardson Jordan.
Present.
Riley.
Present.
Rivera.
Present.
Salamanca. Sanchez.
Present.
Shulman.
Here.
Stevens.
Here.
Holden. Ung.
Present.
Velasquez.
Present.
Vernikoff. Carr. Williams.
Present.
Juan.
Present.
Yeager.
Here.
Borelli.
Here.
Powers.
Here.
Speaker Adams.
Present.
Thank you. We'll now have today's invocation delivered by Father Brian Dowd of St. Patrick's Roman Catholic Church, located at 9511 4th Avenue in Brooklyn.
Let us take a moment to prepare ourselves for prayer. Let us pray. Glorious God, you promise to open doors of blessing and abundance for all your people. We ask that you would work mightily in this great city council today. May your Spirit cause the members to have a productive meeting, broaden their perspective, and lead each one of them to make fruitful contributions, building up the many communities of our great city. God of wisdom, we pray that you will bless our city, our mayor, and our city council members. We give thanks for the ways of service that they have chosen to take up on behalf of all the citizens. Help them to have the eyes to see how lives are all connected and how the common good is upheld when we listen and respond to those most vulnerable among us. We pray that your kingdom would come to New York City as it is in heaven through your power, working in each of these your servants. May our truth be revealed. May your light shine brighter. May the voices of those most silenced be heard louder and clearer. Defend their cause, O God, through this governing body. And recognizing your image in each person, we present this our prayer today. Amen. God bless you.
Thank you. We will now call on the council member from Bay Ridge, Justin Brannan, to spread the invocation on the record.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Thank you, Father Dowd. Father Dowd's family immigrated from Ireland. He was ordained by Bishop Daly back in 1991. Most importantly, Bay Ridge is happy to have stolen Father Dowd back from Queens, and now we have him in Bay Ridge as pastor of St. Patrick Roman Catholic Church. I want to thank Father Dowd for being here and make a motion for unanimous consent to spread the invocation in full upon the record.
Thank you, Councilmember Brannan. We are now going to have the adoption of the minutes by Councilmember Rafael Salamanca.
Thank you. I make a motion that the minutes of the stated meeting of October 12, 2022 be adopted and as printed.
Thank you. We'll have messages and papers from the mayor.
None.
Communication from city, county, and borough offices.
None.
Petitions and communications.
None.
Land use call-ups.
None.
Thank you. We'll now have communication from Speaker Adrian Adams.
Thank you so much, Majority Leader. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to remind everyone that Tuesday, November 8th, is indeed Election Day. I know that I don't have to tell anyone in this room, but let's remind everyone else that if they have not already voted, during early voting, please exercise this fundamental right that is a pillar of our democracy, and please don't forget to flip the ballot to vote on the 4 ballot proposals that are up for consideration this November, including 3 initiatives that were developed by the New York City Racial Justice Commission. And I want to thank all of the council members who participated in the council's Racial Justice Ballot Day of Action last week to engage and educate New Yorkers about the ballot proposals. Let's continue to get the message out and urge all New Yorkers to flip the ballot on Tuesday. Before we continue, I do want to take a moment to honor the life of Reverend Dr. Calvin Butts. We lost Dr. Butts on October 28th. He was a great community leader who dedicated his life to serving his beloved Harlem and the entire state of New York. He led the historic Abyssinian Baptist Church with such passion and care, which extended to his stewardship of Abyssinian Development Corporation, to SUNY Old Westbury, and many other educational and community institutions. Dr. Butts' legacy of public service, community empowerment, justice, and equity will live on through the people he inspired and all New Yorkers who have benefited from his actions. As a council, we will continue to uplift and honor his memory by advancing many of his efforts for our city and its people. Our prayers and condolences are with Dr. Butts' family, friends, and of course the Abyssinian Baptist Church community. I was privileged, indeed, to call him a friend, and like all New Yorkers, I will miss him dearly. Please join me in a moment of silence to remember Reverend Dr. Calvin Butts. Thank you. November is Puerto Rican Heritage Month, and as we begin the new month, I want to honor the many contributions and accomplishments of our Puerto Rican communities. Puerto Rico is often considered New York City's 6th borough because of our close relationship with the island and its people. Puerto Rican New Yorkers helped shape our city into what it is today, and it is important that we acknowledge those continuing contributions not only throughout the month of November, but every day. November is also National Alzheimer's Disease Awareness Month. Alzheimer's affects more than 6 million Americans, and it is important that we recognize not just those who have been diagnosed with this disease, but also the families and caregivers who support them. I know this is an important month for our aging chair, Councilmember Crystal Hudson, whose care for her mother brought her into this great work. I want to thank Councilmember Hudson for her fierce advocacy and leadership of the Aging Committee, and all members who continue to advance the care we need for older adults in our city. Thank you. In a few days, colleagues, we will be observing Veterans Day. That happens on November 11th, and this day is meaningful for all of us, especially veterans and families of those who have served in the armed forces. My father, my father-in-law, and my husband all served in the United States Air Force. Yes, veterans. So as for many of you, this day is very personal for me and for my family, and I thank all of our veterans for their service and sacrifice for our nation. Have a very safe and meaningful Veterans Day. On November 6th, don't forget to fall back 1 hour. Grumble, 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 for daylight savings time. And enjoy, colleagues, enjoy that extra hour of sleep this weekend. Family, please help me to say happy birthday to Councilmember Lynn Schulman.
Happy birthday to you.
Lynn, I hope you have a wonderful birthday. Now let's move on to our stated agenda. Today, we're voting on several legislative and finance items. We will be voting on the following finance item. Resolution 362, sponsored by Finance Chair Justin Brannan, pertains to an increase in the annual expenditure for the 125th Street and Dumbo Business Improvement Districts. This resolution sets the date, time, and place for the hearing of the local law, increasing the annual expenditure for these bids. The council will also vote on important pieces of legislation to help improve the diversity of the New York City Fire Department, a struggle that has been underway for decades. Today, we're voting on a package of bills to improve the diversity, equity, and inclusion practices at the FDNY. Our city's firefighters define what it means to be New York's bravest. Their heroic work saves lives every single day. And as the largest fire department in the country, the FDNY responds to over 1 million emergencies every year. As the mother of an FDNY paramedic, I am incredibly proud of the FDNY and our first responders. However, we cannot deny that the fire department still does not accurately reflect the rich diversity of our city. The statistics are striking. The department is still disproportionately made up of white men. Only 8% of our firefighters are Black, 13% are Latino, and just 2% are Asian. The gender disparities are far worse. While we certainly celebrate the appointment of Laura Kavanaugh as the first woman in our city's history to serve as commissioner of the department, the reality is that just 1% of firefighters are women. The overall lack of diversity within the FDNY is something we must address, and as a council, we are committed to advancing solutions that can help correct this historic injustice. This critical set of bills we're voting on today are focused on boosting diversity in the department by requiring the implementation of substantial efforts, confronting exclusionary practices that undermine diversity, and increasing transparency on the FDNY's ability to maintain a diverse workforce free from harassment and discrimination. Before we get into the specific bills, I do want to acknowledge the work of so many advocates who have fought for decades to increase diversity in the FDNY. Organizations like the Vulcan Society have been leaders and partners in this work. And the many firefighters who are women and people of color have blazed a trail and fought for equitable treatment and equal representation. This legislation comes out of years of efforts by so many of them who continue to advocate, fight, and push without the scale and strength of backup and support that exists today. I also want to thank the Council's Black, Latino, and Asian Caucus for its leadership on this package of bills, as well as our Fire and Emergency Management Committee Chair, Joanne Ariola, for shepherding it through the committee. The first bill is my own, Intro 516A, that would require the FDNY, in consultation with the Department of Citywide Administrative Services, to develop and implement a plan for the recruitment and retention of firefighters from underrepresented groups within the department, including female firefighters and firefighters of diverse racial and ethnic backgrounds. The FDNY would also be required to report annually on these efforts. And I just want to say this about my own legislation and this entire package. Achieving diversity and equity requires more than just words. It requires intentional planning, implementation, transparency, and accountability, and that is what these bills are all about. My legislation is focused on requiring the type of planning and implementation for recruiting and retaining firefighters from groups that are underrepresented in the FDNY. It also includes important transparency about these efforts and their outcomes, and the Council will be in the position to hold the administration and FDNY accountable. We know from history that many barriers have existed to stifle diversity in the FDNY, from the fighter exam being discriminatory against women and applicants of color to hiring practices. And it was not until 2014, just 8 years ago, that the department settled a discrimination lawsuit for $98 million and agreed to make changes to its hiring practices. By passing this package of bills today, we hope to move the FDNY forward to achieving a workforce fully reflective of the diversity of our city. The next bill is Intro 519A, sponsored by our Fire and Emergency Management Committee Chair, Joanne Ariola. It would require the FDNY to survey each firehouse to determine permanent facility upgrades necessary to create a workplace environment that supports a mixed gender workforce. Now, this is the year 2022, and this is the legislation that we are passing in the year 2022. The bill would also employ interim measures to ensure privacy, including physical barriers at locations awaiting such upgrades. Upon completing the survey, the department would be required to report its findings to the council and mayor and provide information related to any current or forthcoming construction plans to make relevant upgrades to areas such as bathrooms, changing and rest areas, and any interim measures taken at firehouses to accommodate a mixed gender workforce until permanent upgrades are made. Next, we will vote on the following bill sponsored by Councilmember Kevin Riley. Intro 552A would require the FDNY to produce an annual report on the number of firefighters assigned to each fire company and special operations unit within the department, disaggregated by the gender and race or ethnicity of such firefighters. Additionally, the FDNY will be required to provide demographic information of the population residing in the immediate service area of each fire company in the city. This will provide information revealing whether the demographics at a firehouse actually reflect the community that they serve. Introduction 553A would require the FDNY, in consultation with the Department of Citywide Administrative Services, to develop and implement a plan to provide the annual training and education to all employees regarding diversity and inclusion, including on the department's anti-harassment and anti-discrimination policies. Firehouses where multiple instances of harassment or discrimination take place would receive additional targeted and interactive training. Lastly, we will be voting on Intro 560A, sponsored by Councilmember Natasha Williams. This bill would require the FDNY to produce an annual report on complaints filed with the department's Equal Employment Opportunity Office regarding potential violations of the city's Equal Employment Opportunity policy. The report would include information on the number of complaints that were received and closed during the prior year, information on types of misconduct alleged in such complaints, and case outcomes, including any corrective action taken by the department. We want to thank staff, Rachel Cordero, Josh Kingsley, and William Hongak. Thank you for your attention. Now I turn it back into the hands of our Majority Leader.
Thank you, Speaker Adams. We're now going to move into discussion of general orders. We'll first hear from Councilmember Williams.
Thank you. I am thrilled to cast my vote today for my third bill to pass this year, Intro 560, which will make the EEO violations of the FDNY more transparent. Since the DOJ Vulcan lawsuit against the FDNY in 2007, there have been regular public reports regarding the hostile work environment within the fire department faced by women, ethnic minorities, and members of the LGBTQIA+ community. Various news agencies have highlighted hazing incidents within the firehouses, an issue that some claim perpetuates the lack of diversity and attrition issues within the department. In 2021, a lawsuit was filed against Queens firefighters who allegedly hazed a rookie colleague for being Hispanic and suffering from PTSD after his service in the military. In 2022, an openly gay firefighter sued the department for discrimination based on his sexual orientation and claiming he was repeatedly called homophobic slurs. Additionally, following numerous incidents of racist and discriminatory behavior within the department, particularly during a time of civil unrest following the murder of George Floyd in 2020, the FDNY initiated disciplinary actions against 9 members with punishments involving suspension without pay up to 6 months for some offenders. These incidents, including the use of inappropriate and racist comments made by uniformed firefighters, is something we are looking to address. Intro 560 would help these issues by creating better transparency around EEO complaints and corrective actions. I want to thank all who helped to make this happen, past and present, Chair Ariola, and of course, Speaker Adams. I would also like to congratulate my colleague, Councilmember Riley, who also has bills in this package, and I'm honored to have a bill as well so that we can truly fight firefighter discrimination. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now call on a man whose birthday is coming up as well, in between this day and the next, Councilmember Kevin Riley.
Thank you, Majority Leader. It is fitting and significant that in today's historical diverse council, we make our mark to address the systematic disparities in our infrastructure, as well as to create more welcoming and safe workplaces for all New Yorkers. As co-chair of the Black Latino Asian Caucus, it is a priority for the caucus that all legislation passed through the council upholds the true means of diversity and inclusion that seeks to benefit and protect all New Yorkers. And that's what Intro 552A and 5538 will be doing. I would like to thank my colleagues in government for backing this transformative legislation, and also to thank the Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson for her hard work and partnership on these bills. But most importantly, thank you to the Vulcan Society, Arc of Justice, and all the advocates. And thank you to the FDNY. We are grateful to the leadership, service, and sacrifices that our fire members perform daily to keep our families and our communities safe. This package of legislation will only strengthen the department and our city to ensure that all our heroes are well supported and protected. Our agencies operate at their best when there are people that truly understand and represent the communities that they serve. Thank you for this opportunity to speak, Majority Leader.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else signed up to speak? Seeing none, we'll move to the report of special committees.
None.
Oh, sorry, hold on one second. Sorry, we have Councilmember Barron.
Thank you very much, my colleagues. You know, we've been on the fire department for decades. When I was first here, Paul Washington, who was a black firefighter, head of the Vulcan Society, we did the same kinds of things. And you know what? The percentage is still the same. 7% black, 2% female. We got to come down harder on this fire department. They also have complaints when they come into our community, most white male firefighters, God forbid that you have a pot on fire. They'll wreck your whole apartment, saying they're trying to put the fire out on the pot on the stove. So this kind of stuff has got to stop. And with this legislation, we have to put more teeth into, once this legislation is passed, we need to bring the fire department in here constantly, and as a body, we need to go to the fire department, even if we have to continuously protest until they pass, hire more of us, and stop some practices. In one instance, they had a noose in the locker room in front of one of the firefighters. So this has been like 20, 30 years, and we come up with similar legislation. Appreciate all the work that is done. I support it. I'm voting for it 100%. But when it comes to execution and implement it, no pun intended, but the fire department needs heat. They need some heat on their racist policies so that we can make sure that we are respected. So thanks, my colleagues, for what you're doing, but we need to get a little stronger because it's been decades and we have the same thing.
We'll now go to Councilmember Feliz.
Thank you, Majority Leader. I want to start by thanking members of the fire department. Every single day we see them risking their lives to save the lives of people in burning buildings. Very thankful for the service that they do every single day at all hours. However, we've had challenges with our fire department. Historical challenges, obviously related to racial diversity, gender diversity, and diversity in every way. I want to thank my colleagues, Speaker Adams, BLAC co-chair Kevin Riley, Councilmember Natasha Williams, for their leadership on these bills. We live in a diverse city. We need to make sure that every single government agency, including our fire department, but every single other government agency as well, is as diverse as our city. Diversity creates strong fire departments, diversity creates strong communities, and we need to make sure that everyone growing up in the city of New York, regardless of your race or gender, you could see yourself and you could become a firefighter. So I want to thank all of you for your work on these very important bills. We're building a better New York City for all of us and for future generations. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now, seeing no other people signed up, we will now move into the report of special committees.
None.
Reports of standing committees.
Report of the Committee on Finance, Resolution 362, Business Improvement Districts.
Coupled on general orders.
Report of the Committee on Fire and Emergency Management, Intro 516A, Firefighter Recruitment and Retention.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Intro 519A, Firehouse Surveys.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Intro 552A, Demographic Information Reporting.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Intro 553A, Diversity and Anti-Harassment Training.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Intro 560A, Reporting on Employment Opportunity Complaints.
Amended and coupled on general orders. I now ask that the clerk take a roll call vote on all of the items coupled on today's general orders calendar.
Williams.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Abreu.
Aye.
Ariola.
Aye.
Aviles.
Aye.
Ayala.
Aye.
Barron.
May I be excused to explain my vote?
Go ahead.
We also have a high school of fire science in East New York. We fought hard for that, and it's graduating a lot of black students, and we just want to see if the city council can monitor that so that those graduates then become firefighters and not just graduates. We had one from East New York who moved up the ladder, saved some lives, and he graduated right from the High School of Fire Science. So one of the ways we can do that is more of our communities have high schools that focus on fire science and making sure that our black and brown, in particular, children or youth receive that kind of attention and qualifications and graduating degrees and be incorporated into the fire department. I vote aye on all.
Thank you. Butcher.
Aye and no.
Brennan.
Aye.
Brewer.
I vote aye, and I know that the fire department still needs prevention officers and those that can do inspections because they don't have enough. Thank you.
Brooks Powers.
Permission to explain my vote?
Go ahead.
I want to thank my colleagues, Speaker Adams, Chairwoman Ariola, Councilmember Riley, and Councilmember Williams, and others for their work on this package of bills aimed at increasing diversity, equity, and inclusion in the FDNY. And that's why I'm a proud co-sponsor of the entire suite of transformative legislation. The fire department has made a meaningful effort over the last few years to diversify its workforce, and I appreciate the mayor's recent appointment of Laura Kavanaugh, the first ever woman to lead the fire department. But the department, as it's been said a few times already, has a long history of discrimination, and we all know the city has a long way to go. In fact, it was a matter in my own district that I've had to deal with over the course of the last few months. So I am hopeful that this legislation will bring the change that we would like to see. These bills will help ensure women and members of underrepresented communities can join the fire department's ranks and that they can be safe at work. So again, I appreciate the work of my colleagues to move this package of legislation forward, and with that, I vote aye on all.
Thank you. Kaban.
Aye on all.
Carr.
Aye on all.
De La Rosa.
Aye.
Dinowitz.
Aye.
Farias.
I vote aye on all.
Feliz.
Aye.
Gennaro.
Aye.
Gutierrez.
Aye.
Hanif.
Aye.
Hanks.
Aye.
Holden.
Aye.
Hudson.
Aye on all.
Joseph.
Aye on all.
Kagan. Krishnan.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Lewis.
Aye.
Marte.
Aye.
Mealy.
Aye.
Menon. Councilmember Menon. Moya.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Narcisse.
1 second. I just want to say that I love firefighters, but we need equity and diversity. And thank you, Madam Speaker, for the work that we're doing and all my colleagues, but I love firefighters. We just need equities and diversity. Thank you.
How do you vote?
I vote aye. I just want to say
I assumed
love
you were going to vote
firefighters.
aye after that, but I wanted to just be on
I
the
vote
record. about
aye.
it.
Thank you. Nurse.
I vote aye.
Osei.
I vote aye.
Palladino. Wrestler.
I vote aye, and I'd like to congratulate my friends at the Dumbo bid who do a terrific job. Thank you.
Thank you. Richardson Jordan.
Permission to explain my vote?
Go ahead.
So first, I want to definitely share in condolences for the family of Reverend Butts. My grandparents were actually married at Abyssinia Baptist Church, so my roots go there as well. And, you know, our ancestors are always with us, and one of the best things we can do to honor them is to protect our community. And in the true spirit of Christ, that really means all the children of God and not just the wealthy. I wanted to, in the spirit of saying protect communities and ancestry, I wanted to also say that I'm proud to co-sponsor and support these FDNY bills. My grandfather, actually on the other parent's side, was a Black NYC firefighter. And so it's really diversity in FDNY is huge. Yes, we do still have a long way to go. I'm also glad that we're taking a step. Lastly, I wanted to shout out the 125th Street bid, not just for this increase, you know, congratulations and proud to support, but also for all the work that the bid has been doing, particularly around cleaning and safety. Thank you. I vote aye on all.
Thank you. Riley.
Permission to explain my vote?
Go ahead.
Just real quick, I wanted to give my gratitude and condolences to Reverend Calvin Butts' family. I had the opportunity of building a relationship with Reverend Calvin Butts at my tenure at SUNY College of Westbury, but not only as a president, but also as a fraternity brother of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Was an amazing brother, and just wanted to extend my gratitude and condolences to his family, and I vote aye on all.
Thank you. Rivera.
I vote aye. Congrats to all my colleagues.
Salamanca.
Aye on all.
Sanchez.
Aye on all.
Schulman.
Aye on all.
Stevens.
Aye on all.
Ung.
Aye and all.
Velasquez.
Aye.
Vernikov.
Aye and all.
Juan.
Aye and all.
Yeager.
Sorry to rain on this Aye on All parade, but I can't, as you know, vote aye on all because that just wouldn't be me. I vote aye on all with the exception of the tax increase about to be rubber stamped by the council, masquerading as a bid assessment, resolution number 362, on which I vote no. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Menon. Borelli.
Aye.
Powers.
Aye.
Speaker Adams.
Happy belated birthday, Councilmember Feliz. I vote aye on all.
Happy birthday, Councilmember. All items on today's general order calendar are adopted by a vote of 49 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and 0 abstentions, with the exception of Resolution 362, adopted by a vote of 48 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative, and 0 abstentions. We will now move into the introduction and reading of bills.
All bills have been referred to committees as indicated on today's agenda.
Thank you. There are no resolutions on today's calendar, so we'll now move into general discussion. We'll first hear from Councilmember Farias.
Thank you, Majority Leader. I just want to take this moment to honor the family in my district. This Sunday morning, we saw a tragic fire in the Castle Hill community that took the life of 4 of my neighbors, 10-year-old Khalid Walid Ban Saleh, his 12-year-old brother, Mohammed Walid Ahmed, their older brother, 22-year-old Ahmed Saleh, and his 10-month-old baby girl, Bahra Saleh. There is also a 21-year-old woman, their mother, and a 44-year-old man, their uncle, who are still in critical condition. I and my community are heartbroken to see our neighbors gone too soon and their families suffer from the wreckage of this fire. I have spent time with the family and want to honor them today and express their appreciation for the outpouring of support, not only from our community, but from the city. My office and I are continuing to do everything we can to help, and I just want to appreciate the condolences from Madam Speaker, Mayor Adams, Borough President Gibson, and my colleagues in government. Finally, a huge gratitude to my local firehouses, Engine 96 and Ladder 54, and Engine 64, Ladder 47, and the entire FDNY for their quick response and continued outreach in my district. Thank you to everyone who has reached out.
Thank you. We'll now go to Councilmember Hudson, followed by Councilmember Bottcher.
Thank you. And as the speaker mentioned, November is Alzheimer's Awareness Month. Most folks know by now that I cared for my mother for 8 years when she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. And while those 8 years weren't at all easy, they call it the long goodbye, I'm grateful for the time I had with my mother and that I was able to keep her at home until her last breath. My office gets calls often from constituents who are concerned about older neighbors who seem to be exhibiting signs of Alzheimer's disease, and I can't imagine my office is the only one receiving those calls. More and more older adults are living alone, isolated, and finding themselves without the care and resources they deserve. Currently, more than 6 million Americans live with the disease, and by 2050, that number will grow to almost 13 million. 1 in 3 seniors dies with Alzheimer's or another dementia. And while Alzheimer's has been such a significant part of my story, I am most certainly not the only one with a story. And I want to just mention, I sent an email. We'll be doing an info brief with an organization called Caring Kind that delivers services and resources to families experiencing Alzheimer's disease. And I encourage everyone to join. I can't remember the date off the top of my head right now, but please check your emails and all the information is there. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will hear from Councilmember Bottcher, followed by Councilmember Caban.
So today I'm introducing a bill that will clarify and strengthen the rules around those sidewalk news boxes. Most of them are fine, but some of them, as we all know, become abandoned, broken, soiled, vandalized, tipped over. And I've, in the past, tried to address this, but there's really not much the city can do about it under the current rules. So the introduction that we are submitting today would have just some common sense stuff, like requiring them to put the owners of the boxes, which is often not even the publication, put their contact information on the box. So there's someone to contact, a way to have it addressed. I want to thank my co-sponsor, Sandra Ung, Councilmember Ung, and everyone who has signed on. Thanks so much.
Thank you. We'll now go to Councilmember Gabon, followed by Councilmember Ressler.
Thank you. I just wanted to highlight for folks that right outside of City Hall today, there are family members and loved ones of people killed on Rikers Island who have been there since 6 a.m., along with advocates that are calling for the end of solitary confinement and the closure of Rikers Island. Initially, when they started planning the event, it was supposed to be 16 hours, and then became 17, and now 18. Because in those couple of short weeks, we saw more lives lost on Rikers. And I want to share very briefly the story of the Taviras family, who was the 17th victim on Rikers, who had spoken to her son, who struggled with mental health issues, and seemed hopeful that he might be able to come home and access a program and services in just a few weeks. And 2 days later, she lives in public housing, and that's an important thing to note. 2 days later, a bunch of men in matching jackets showed up at her door. English is not her first language. And she let them in, and she said, I thought I have so many open tickets in my apartment. Everything is broken, nothing works. And I let them in because I thought they were here to fix something, finally. I thought they were here to fix something in my apartment. And she let them in, and they told her that her son was dead. And it is no coincidence that this family, relegated to public housing, could not get a damn thing fixed in their apartment, who had a son with mental health issues, who couldn't get access to services, but had access to Rikers Island, and then was killed there. We have to understand the trajectory in this pipeline and end the practice of solitary confinement. In addition to the people dying, recently a corrections officer stabbed 18 times. People are not safe there. We need to decarcerate, we need to end solitary, and for folks who are still on the fence on signing on to that really important legislation, please, the empirical evidence, the data, the research shows that conditions of solitary exacerbate and increase violence, and that there are proven methods to decreasing the violence on all sides. So I'm asking my colleagues, please, sign on to the Halt Solitary Bill. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now go to Councilmember Ressler, followed by Councilmember Holden.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Firstly, I'd like to just echo the eloquent sentiments of Councilmember Caban. I couldn't agree with her more strongly. Also just wanted to mention that today I'm introducing Intro 816 to suspend ASP during Tisha B'Av. And Tisha B'Av is a day of communal mourning. It's one of the holiest days in the Jewish calendar, commemorating the destruction of the first and second temples in Jerusalem and other tragedies that occurred on that same date. Constituents in my district and folks all across the city mourn from the earliest hours until late in the night, and they cannot be bothered by ASP on a day of such import. So I hope that we can remove this burden together. I want to thank the bill drafter and the folks on my team who worked on it, and especially the folks in the community in Williamsburg who brought this issue to my attention. I think it's a sensible modification that I hope we can adopt. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we'll hear from Councilmember Holden.
Thank you, Majority Leader. And today I'm introducing Intro 813, a bill that will help our small businesses compete with larger chains on third-party delivery apps. My bill will keep fee caps in place as mandated by this council, but it would also allow restaurants the option to opt out of regulations that can hurt their marketing efforts. Providing small businesses more options is good for business and good for all consumers who use third-party delivery apps like Grubhub and Uber Eats. I want to thank you to Consumer and Worker Protection Committee Chair Marjorie Velasquez and to all my colleagues in the council for being pre-intro sponsors. And I ask my colleagues to sign on to this important bill, and thank you, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Councilmember Holden. Do we have anyone else signed up to speak? Seeing none, I'll now call on Speaker Adrian Adams to close today's stated meeting.
Before we close, I'd like to acknowledge that a longtime staffer of ours will be leaving us on Monday. She's in the balcony. Let's everybody wave to Jenny Lowe. Jenny will be missed dearly. She has seen us through many speakers, many councils, and she is going on to very, very green pastures. We congratulate you for the move, Jenny. We're very proud of you, very, very proud of the work, and thankful for your service to this council. Congratulations. Thank you. The stated meeting of November 3rd, 2022 is hereby adjourned.
So you're going to SAWS? I am now. You're going to SAWS?
I'll be there, yeah.
Okay. A lot
Should be
of
fun.
people
You going?
aren't going.